People have a vast imagination. Therefore, humanity has always been wondering, is it possible to become immortal? And would it be fun? Or not at all? But is living forever a legit possibility? Or will it remain to be a mere concept for fantasy novels? Will modern medicine be able to cure humanity of senescence and death? Immortality is one of the most everlasting fixations to ever cross one's mind. Echoes of this strange desire can be found in any culture and religion. Reincarnation, paradise, the search for the source of eternal youth in ancient myths and living water in folklore, the philosopher's stone that cures all diseases. So, seems like we clearly want to never die. However, aging is quite a natural process. It happens to most organisms on Earth. They run around happily for some time. And then, the oppression of reproductive function, a high probability of diseases, and finally, death. Why does the world have to be so unfair? Let's leave that question to the philosophers. Aging is a very complex and intricate process that scientists have not fully figured out yet. The good thing is that in 2009, geneticists Elizabeth Blackburn, Carol Greider and Jack Szostak shed some light on this topic. One of the main problems lies within the telomeres. This is the nucleus of our cell. And this is nuclear DNA. 23 pairs of chromosomes, and at the tip of each of the chromosome are telomeres, sort of like protective caps. Cells are constantly dividing, and telomeres are getting shorter and shorter. And without them, it's over. The cell can no longer keep dividing, and dies. To prevent this from happening, we need to activate the enzyme telomerase, which prevents the shortening of telomeres. Which theoretically, should help. But in practice, there is no absolute confirmation that with the activation of this enzyme, aging can really be avoided. As of right now. And unfortunately, there is something much more unfair than dying cells with short telomeres and human mortality in general. Like the immortality of the jellyfish called Turritopsis nitricula. When the beast develops fully, it sinks to the bottom and becomes a polyp. After that, under the chitinous cuticle of this cunning lady, new buds appear, which release a bunch of new jellyfish. The process can be repeated indefinitely. Turritopsis nitricula can only die in the case of a tragic accident. This is not even the only animal that seems to be so unreasonably lucky. Science knows quite a lot of organisms that practically do not age. Turtles, slowwalkers, hydra. Or rather, they age, in a way. But not at all like you and me do. This is called negligible senescence. The years go by, yet the body functions of such animals keep working like clockwork. No age-related diseases, no problems with procreation. All is good. If the probability of death of a person remained as low as the probability of death of a 10-year-old child throughout the entire life cycle, people could easily live for 1,000 years. The situation with these animals is exactly like this. They are able to die, but they show an incredible survivability. Who are they and how do they do it? For example, a naked mole rat, an African mole. During adolescence, naked mole rats die quite often, due to accidents. But after reaching a certain age, they seem to freeze in time. Yet it only applies to females, and only to certain ones. This queen of naked mole rats can live up to 40 years. Which is just incredible for an animal of this size. Usually the bigger the animal, the longer and happier its life will be. Scientists believe that stress resistance plays a big part here. That's what's missing for our immortality to be possible. It is dark underground and in the depths of the sea. There isn't much oxygen, so not even close to being San Francisco, or even southern Butovo. Nature took care of animals living in such harsh conditions, created some extremely stable genotypes. The only missing piece here is to understand which genes lead to such an awesome result. And some other little things. You can look at this from another perspective. After all, a deep freezing technology as cryonics exists. And despite the fact that supporters of this method of burial cannot be certain that they will actually be revived someday, critical companies are already gradually opening up around the world, promising their customers, quite literally, life after death. And in the meantime, while scientists are having their fun, or rather, studying ageless animals and freezing dead people, we can, as an option, drink to longevity. Got a question? Join our Nouchpak community on vk.com. You can ask about anything that keeps you up at night.